नमस्कार, मैं अशोक व्यास इस विशेष प्रस्तुति में आपका स्वागत कर रहा हूँ, जिसमें हम चलेंगे हिंदू समाज मंदिर जो महवा में स्थित है, न्यू जर्सी में। 26 बरस से ये सेवा का एक प्रकल्प किस तरह से विकसित हो रहा है और आंतरिक विकास में अपनी भूमिका निभा रहा है, उसका परिचय भी आप पाएंगे, सुनेंगे अंश उस संबोधन का जिसमें डॉक्टर अतुल चोकसी ने क्रोध पर नियंत्रण करने के लिए श्रीमद् भगवद गीता में जो सूत्र दिए हैं उनको व्यावहारिक ढंग से हम कैसे अपनाएं उसका भी परिचय दिया, और मंदिर के साथ जुड़े हुए पदाधिकारियों से भी मुलाकात करेंगे। तो आइए चलते हैं हिंदू समाज मंदिर महवा।
ओम सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सवीर्यम करवावहि तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु Ma Vidvishavahi. This is the mantra with which many auspicious gatherings are initiated, and I am delighted and happy that I am here at a very beautiful holy place, Hindu Samaj temple at Mahwah, and I have Arvind ji, then I have Dinesh ji, I have Dr. Atul ji, and I have Prakash ji here. So I'm so thrilled to learn about, call it evolution or development of this temple. It's a beautiful space. You come here, you feel a sense of immense peace. And how that came about, every tree, there is a seed. So how that seed, Dinesh ji, came to you, and very briefly if you touch the journey, and allow me also to mention, you have completed 25 years
26
here.
Years.
26, wonderful.
So it didn't come to me. There were 10 families who came together. I was the last one. I was dragged into it because it had to happen. And as a lawyer, I was told that you can help us get the approvals, you can help us find the land. So my involvement started with saying, okay, we can build a building. So, but what was very important was the first 2 or 3 months of us coming together. We thought a lot about, and we talked a lot about what was happening in other temples. And we realized that if we do not have a theme that ties us together, then it would not develop into an institution. It will only remain as a temple. Mm-hmm. So we thought a lot about it, and 3 things emerged in our conversations. One was to celebrate our heritage. Second was to celebrate our accomplishments in this country, because all of us came as immigrants and all of us have achieved tremendous amount of not only wealth but in terms of fame, in terms of our status in various parts of the society. And the third one was very important because we had achieved so much. What is our duty to the community at large? So the 3 themes of celebrating our culture, celebrating our achievements, and more important than anything else, reflecting on our duty to the community. So once that theme became clear to all 10 of us, then we started to say, okay, what are the operating principles? This is the goal. What are the operating principles? And we went around, and every time the consensus was there is only one operating principle, which is seva with shraddha.
Wow.
Okay. From there evolved something very important. So what is going to be the structure of our temple? Because every temple has, presidents and secretaries and treasurers. So we said that the government requires us to have a president for reporting purpose. The trustee organization requires us to have a chair of the trustees. We'll have them. But each one of us will be nothing more than a sevak. So every time you meet a president here or a chair of the trustees here, or we always write Sevak Trustee or Sevak Chair of the Trustees or Sevak President. So the idea of Seva was right from day one built into it. Then we arrived and we bought this land, which is a very beautiful story and a very long one, which I can't tell because
we'll have one exclusive interview with you where we'll talk about the temple. And Arvind ji is also here. I just want him to be visible. So with that, I'll come to that side. But here, the gentleman Prakash ji, we share some overlap space in terms of being related to media and some. But though he was from the finance side and he was global head of very important channel, Sony. So, Prakashji, media to this movement towards devotion and music also. You were singing bhajans. So, talk to me about your association with the temple and how what Dinesh ji mentioned about the service aspect. How satisfied you are with the kind of service that is being extended by the temple?
No, absolutely. Thank you, first of all, for having us here. And today is a very auspicious day, as Dinesh ji just said. The temple has actually, to my memory, I have been here since 2008. I know that it was started much earlier, but this version of the temple that we are today standing in Mahwah, New Jersey, started in 2008. From the first day, I have been associated with the temple in one form or the other, and like Dinesh ji mentioned, it is about seva. And our goal in this temple is very, very, very straightforward and very simple, which is to really reach out to our community, provide a place where people can come and worship a God of their choice, and not only worship, but also engage with the temple in the activities of the temple, which are not restricted only to Mandir activities. We also, like Dinesh ji said, we also believe in promoting culture and heritage of our Indian community. So this is a place for community, and that is a stressing point that I want to make.
And what Dinesh mentioned about service, which you also highlighted, he is also, I would say, practicing that service, and he has been the building manager for this beautiful premises. That must have been a little bit challenging and rewarding both. Talk to me about your experience.
Thank you, Ashok ji, for giving me this opportunity. Like you mentioned, Dinesh ji mentioned, Prakash ji mentioned, this is just the home away from home, and it just happens. When you come to the temple, it's hard to explain, but this is the unique temple I can describe. And I have been to so many temples, but that gives you mental peace. When you just walk in a temple, it just takes away your breath. I don't know how to describe that. And that is something in this temple which attracted me and my wife Varsha long time ago. And Dinesh ji and Savita ji was the part of the whole process, and we just got engaged. Honestly, nobody forced us, nobody told us to come here. No, for just our heart was telling that this is something we should explore, and that's what I think I can give a message to everybody. Just come down once to the temple and you understand what I'm trying to tell you. That's about it. Thank
Beautiful.
you.
So what he's trying to tell you is something that we need to experience, and in order for one to experience the joy of serving, you need to be serving somewhere, and I'm sure most of us are doing that. While we hear about the affluence of Indian American community, the inner richness part is also not neglected. That becomes clear to us when we come to these type of institutions. And Dr. Atul Chokshi ji, being a cardiologist and Gita devotee, he loves to share the wealth of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. When you start resonating with that message, there is a radiance that you carry with you, which he brought here and shared while expressing how to control anger, I would say. And if I ask you, without getting towards Gita, what is the memory that you have when you were full of anger on something? Was there anything, if not right now, during your childhood?
Fortunately, I'm not likely to become angry, and I don't remember any incidents where I became angry which lasted for a significant time. So I'm blessed that way.
So you are blessed, and I'm not disappointed. I was expecting that. And they say that a saint's anger is like the line that is drawn when you hit a stick on the surface of the water. But the same question to you, Prakash. You remember any moment when you were very angry? You don't have to get into the details.
Oh yeah, in the corporate life, it's pretty common. You have a lot of incidents that happen inside a corporation, especially as large as Sony, where I used to work. But we were also told how to manage our anger, especially, and that was a point Dr. Chokshi was making today, which I really appreciated in his speech, which is to stay calm and not react. And I think that was a wonderful advice, sir, from you. And I think that's an advice we should all really share amongst ourselves, having heard from you, as to how we should handle it and how we should manage it. But an exponent of Gita is not something very easy to really talk about, because that actually runs the entire world, if I'm not wrong, from what I read about it. And sir, I really appreciate to put it in a very simplistic manner. And to explain this in such few words, the way you did today, is amazing.
This is from Padma Purana. Dasa Bhutam Idam Sarvam. We are all servants of God. Dasa Bhutam Idam Sarvam. Whatever is in the Jagat, Chara, Achara, moving and non-moving. Dasa Bhutam Idam Sarvam. This is moving and non-moving. Sriman Narayana Swami, that's why we think of Puja. Sriman Narayana Swami, Ishvaram Prabhu Ishvara, the ultimate boss is God. We are all servants of God. He has put us somewhere, he may be a doctor somewhere. So as a doctor, I am supposed to serve his creation, his things. If somebody is soldier, he is supposed to do that. And that's where it ends. And if that is the frame of mind, you have no desire left for you, then you have no anger to deal with, you have complete satiety wherever you are, and right away in the same spot with changing the frame of mind.
And I think we have a lot to learn from somebody like you, and thank you for visiting our temple.
So I'll say that this is our temple. When I say our, meaning because it belongs to God and God belongs to all of us, so all temples belong to all of us somewhere, I would say that. And Arvindji, when I'm standing with Atulji, I'll recollect one shlok where the facts of Krodh are given by Lord Krishna. And then I'll also request you, Krodh word is used few times in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So there is one that I remember is Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibrama, smriti branshat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. So Krodh is quite damaging overall. You have shared some tips about how to control anger also in the light of Bhagavad Gita. Kindly tell us.
So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord is very kind to explain us how to handle these very potentially damaging emotion. And he says that if you don't, it will take you to the downward spiral till you are finished. So what the sloka Ashokji mentioned, Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibram, smriti brusant buddhinaso, buddhinasat pranasyati. See, Bhagavad Gita is not difficult. If we translate simply every word, then the message becomes very lucid. So, Krodhat bhavati sammoha means from anger, this delusion will come. Sammoha means stupidity. You will act like a stupid man, like a madman. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. When you are under the influence of this Krodha, sammoha smriti vibram, your memory will disappear. You will forget that I am a Dr. Chokshi and I have a practice and I have a wife and it took me years to come to this stage. I'll forget all those things. It's like a computer goes blank. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammoha smriti. Smriti bhusant buddhi naso. When their memory is gone, your intellect will not operate because intellect is also wiped out. Means you will work like an animal. You have no memory, you have no intellect, so you are essentially like an animal, no? And most dangerous. So smriti vibra, smriti prasant buddhi nashat pranasyati, and that stage will take you down totally. Means it will be the ruin. We hear many times, So that there was a husband got very angry at a wife, and there was a fight, and husband killed a wife, and then he said, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And then he kills himself. So these double murder, triple murder, that all those things you hear, those happen in the spell of anger. So we should never submit ourselves to go through downward spiral. So God says, stay away from anger. Once anger is created or raised or allowed to happen, it will have its manifestation, occult or manifest way. The anger will come. So today we discuss how to remove anger from the bottom, uproot the anger, not a band-aid treatment. Band-aid treatment is not good. So
let me just hold you for a few more moments. And anger or whatever, everything has its root in the mind, or man, if that is the translation. So while referring to controlling of mind, Arjuna brings this to the attention of Lord Krishna. It is so difficult, as if you are trying to hold wind in your palm. So you mentioned about desire and then attachment, but then desires are also seen as a way to progress. So to find a balance and have the balance so that you work towards realizing your dreams in a way that doesn't lead to any anger.
So God wants us to use the intellect. Sharper the intellect, more strong is the intellect, you will be able to handle desire as well as anger to your benefit. But if you do not use your intellect, then you are in trouble. So that's why we in a Gayatri Mantra we say, God, give me the best of intellect. Why? Because that is the purpose. So using the intellect, these two emotions which are potentially harmful can be used to our advantage. And there is nothing wrong with the desire. Only thing God talks about not having selfish, egocentric desires. That's what God is talking about. Intellectual desire, I want to become a doctor. And spiritual desire, I want to serve the community and want to build a hospital. Nothing wrong with that. Both are desires, but their origins are different. One is egocentric, then another one comes from intellect, third one comes from the spirit. So the spirit desires born at the level of soul is the best. That's why dasa bhutam idam sarvam. We want to become servant, like everybody says that we are servants. But in a real sense, we want to become servant, and that same moment your satiety will come. Tomorrow you will not want anything. Means you are blessed and complete.
Beautiful. So that feeling of krityata, or the feeling of the feeling of fulfillment is what we all long for. And standing here at Mahwah Hindu Samaj Mandir in New Jersey with Prakash ji, Dinesh ji, Dr. Atul ji, and Prakash ji, Arvind ji, Dinesh ji. So with all of them and seeing the way Indian Americans have their orientation towards inner richness. So we have heard many stories that when I came, I had $8 in my pocket, and then we see that they are millionaires. But that is one side of it. The essence, as is taught by Bharat Mata, is also resonating in the hearts of sevakas like him. And I have also the pleasure of recollecting that Indian Prime Minister also refers to himself as Pradhan Sevak. So
The real fact is that Master, he is the creator of this universe. He is the boss. He has established this world, and he put us somewhere in the world to do our duties. So everything was done by him. Everything belongs to God. Everything is for the happiness of God. We are the servants of God, and with that frame of mind, if we work, then you will have no desire, your desire will die down, and anger will vanish. When you work as a servant of God.
with lots of humbleness, there was a lot of thought that went into building of this temple. I come back to the building, and the spirit resides in this building, and you talked about the spirit. Anyone who doesn't know about our temple should know that the land on which our temple is considered very sacred, because this was the place where a meteorite fell and created a natural pond. And Native Americans used to come and worship here from all over Northeast, number one. Number two, when we built this temple, we said community is our strength. And how do we recognize the community? So when the foundations of this building in 2008 were laid, the first foundation at that time we had only about 70 or 80 families. Every family's name, every family's whatever they wanted to was laid in a time capsule there. The fourth time capsule is very important, and I'll turn to the building if you don't mind. The fourth time capsule is in all the steel on which the building resides. You don't see any small columns. The building is built with entire steel structure. And at that time we had somewhere between 325 to 400 people. I don't remember how many. But everyone was invited to write their name with a special ink that never vanishes from the steel. We are made with steel. And the 9th time capsule, which was placed under Durga Ma's feet, was put the night before the temple was going to be inaugurated. So that 9th capsule where Panditji is sitting was placed there. In that 9th capsule, at that time we were about 450 families, and everyone who wanted to say something, write something, but we put the entire history of our temple, all the struggles that we had with the town, all the struggles we had with the approval, all the gundas who came and attacked our temple multiple times. All that history is buried under that because we want it to be for posterity. My phone is ready.
So when we are here at a place which is filled with sense of accomplishment, which is also full of love, devotion and service, it is such a joy, and I have the distinct pleasure and honor of bringing the feel of that joy for all of you through this small conversation. But before I conclude, once again highlighting the significance of controlling our anger by getting in the lap or at the feet of Bhagavad Gita, that is our Amba, that is our Mata. So on that note, we'll again conclude with one mantra which also refers to perfection or completeness. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.